How did South Park get 2 RPGs before The Simpsons got 1? Simpsons games were a big thing on the early 2000s. Who could forget the hours spent on hit and run exploring Springfield and smashing stuff with your car just for fun?
That hurt.
Then what happened? Why didn't we get more games, and what happened to this supposed concept that was in early development in 2007? The Simpsons games had one main strategy: copy whatever was popular at the time but make it Simpsons, and it essentially worked. But this also made all games limited by the source material, with a bit of Simpsons gags.
I am evil Homer. I am evil Homer.
The games never really got a chance to get really creative in their own manners.
Road rage, skateboarding, hit and run.
You've got a lot of video game references. You got, Grand Theft Scratchy, you've got Medal of Homer, you've got all these sort of levels based on popular video game franchises as well, right?
All the game companies would have been perfectly happy just to do Medal of Homer as a game. Like, that's just the game. Oh, we'll just do a World War II parody, the way we did a bad Crazy Taxi parody.
After the success of Hit and Run, the developers actually came up with a prototype for a sequel, but the project got cancelled at early stages because of a licensing disaster between the publisher and Fox. Which brings us to the inevitable, you know it. Okay, EA wasn't as bad as today in early 2000, and they did create the Simpsons game, which also offered a nice exploration of Springfield, and it started touching some RPG elements. Or, to put it in better words, they just copy a bunch of games and call it a day.
I just say blame EA.
This led to a mixed reception, like, I don't know, do you guys like the game, or am I alone here? Well, anyway, the game was also a financial success, like 4 million copies sold. They started working on a sequel for it. And here's where things get more interesting. The Simpsons game was released for a bunch of different hardware. It was everywhere, helping with the marketing for the upcoming movie. So the devs didn't really make use of the power available on the new consoles of the time. For the next game, they had plans to make the 3D models more cartoony to fit the 2D art style from the series. I mean, I certainly wouldn't mind that. The game would also have open world structure, making exploration a lot more natural and seamless, lending it a true open world RPG feel with quest logs, upgrades, and an ever-growing Springfield that reacted to your progress. It was planned to release, but mobile happened. While the team was actively working on the sequel, EA was interested into taking advantage of the mobile market with the power of The Simpsons. As freemium games started exploding in popularity, they started to work on Simpsons Step It Out with high priority. The game took roughly 2 years with an extremely successful release in 2012. And during its first 3 months, it had already made $23 million. Seeing the big shift in industry during the time, and how easy of a cash grab Tap It Out was, EA realized there was no place for risky projects like the sequel to the Simpsons game. So the project was completely cancelled, and all hope for a massive RPG was apparently lost. Kinda. Although the project died because of the Simpsons Tap It Out, it did include some light RPG mechanics like levels and quest lines, and by any means the game was actually enjoyable. I myself spent hours building my own Springfield and laughing at some quirky dialogues, but sadly that was nowhere near the experience we could have, which brings us to nowadays. Now back to the starting question. Yes, South Park released 2 successful examples of how a show packed into some RPG elements can work, so why not try it with the Yellow Family? Because money. Yeah, what? Did you expect me to come up with some conspiracy or something? And honestly, that's probably still the reason today. Mobile games made absurd amounts of money, and risky console projects just disappeared. Which is a shame, because after South Park proving this formula could actually work, it is hard not to imagine what a real Simpsons RPG could have been. But we do have some clues about a successful return for Simpsons into gaming. Fortnite did a big update with a whole Springfield map and characters available recently, and the public reception was actually positive. Also recently, the studio that made Hit and Run actually was rebranded from Radical Entertainment to New Radical Games, and showrunner Matt Stillman actually talked about the return of the franchise with phenomenal's "Never Say Never." So, who knows? Maybe we're actually closer to get a new Simpsons game, but will it be the RPG game we never got? Only time will tell. Damn, all this talk actually made me want to play some hit and run again.